Yes, hello everyone and welcome to the Road Trip to Poland webinar, a dedicated RailFreight live show in which we're going to discuss the RailFreight Summit about to take place in Łódź in Poland in September this year. We got the speakers, we got pictures, and we have a road trip movie. Yes, hello everyone. It's Friday, 16th of July, and we have a dedicated webinar today. On the table with me are Arie van Dijk and Nikos Papatolias, my colleagues. And of course, we have an audience, because this is not a normal RailFreight live show. We have a webinar, so you can interact with us, please do so. Now, this show is all about the RailFreight Summit, which is about to take place on the 1st and the 2nd of September in Łódź. It's our next upcoming event, and we want to know all about it. So, Arie, let me start with you.
Yeah, sure.
Arie, we have a lot of questions about this event because we are still in a corona situation. It's one of the first events that we're going to host in a physical way. Are we going to make it?
Yeah, for sure we're going to make it. And I'm very excited that it's come. The physical events are coming back. We see a lot of enthusiasm between our participants and delegates. And we are confident that we can make it happen. Vaccinations in Europe, in the whole wide region of Europe, are coming along nicely. Poland is a green country, Germany is a green country, and we see a lot of participants, especially in Central Europe, and it's completely safe to travel. So I think everybody is set to go after a couple of months and a year and a half of lockdown, and we're happy to be back.
Yeah. And how are we going to offer this conference? Is it just physical, or do we have other options?
Well, last year in September we did it between the first and the second wave, of course, and there we had a hybrid event, and it was very nicely received. So we're going to do it hybrid again. We are expecting a lot of more participants because really people want to get out. So we're expecting 200, 250 delegates for sure. And also quite a large number of online participants. So everybody is welcome. If you feel safe, please join us in Poland. If you want to be sure, buy a hybrid ticket, no problem.
Yeah. And of course, there is enough interaction possible for the online participants as well. We'll make sure that it all flows together a little bit.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. Now, Nikos, you have visited the city this week, actually.
This week, yeah.
Yeah, how was it?
It was very nice, actually. It's a lovely city, I would say, with a very interesting multicultural and industrial background. So I think that the attendees of the RailFreight Summit are going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and you're actually the proof on the table here with us that it's possible to travel to Poland. There are no restrictions.
Precisely, yes. As Arie said, the vaccination rates in Poland are very high at the moment. It's a green country. So whether you're vaccinated or not, it's still possible to travel, and it's quite easy. If you're vaccinated, you just need a vaccination proof. Mm-hmm. If you're not vaccinated, you need just a PCR test or a rapid test prior to traveling. Yeah. So it's quite easy to organize it.
And you went by airplane?
We went by airplane, yes.
Yeah, but it's also possible to drive a car. We know that. We did that last year.
For sure, and we're going to do it again, because we're always taking a lot of stuff with us, so we're going to drive by car.
Yeah.
Hey, and let me ask you a question, Nikos. You went to the event venue. How was the situation there? Was it relaxed, or?
I think that given how big the venues are and how safe they can be, the situation was quite relaxed. So I think we can have the chance to host the event and the summit without any problems.
Excellent.
It's going to be COVID-proof.
Looking forward to meeting all these people again, don't you, Mairi?
Yes, me too. It's something so different if you get to meet them in person. And this event is, of course, all about networking. That's the part we enjoy the most, I think, sometimes. You know, you just sit around the table. We have networking dinners. We have networking drinks. So I'm really looking forward to having that community together again. Now, talking about that community, we have a poll question to involve the audience a little bit. And for that, you just need to go to your poll that you will see in front of you right now. The question that we have is actually a statement, which is, Polish logistics is getting ready to compete with Germany. Now, you have an opinion about that, maybe. You can say agree or disagree. Please do so.
It's perhaps good to say something about the poll, because it's a little bit an aggressive poll, of course, but it's because you see so much good energy in the Polish logistics, and we've been there now for the 4th year in a row, and it's developing so rapidly. And yes, if you've seen with your own eyes, they're really investing heavily in infrastructure, in logistics, and also in the logistical knowledge. That we really see that especially the port of Gdansk and the hinterland connections from there are really competing with the German ports and of course the whole of Northern Europe. So it's quite interesting to see how that will develop, and I'm looking forward to discussion about that during the event.
And what do you think, Miłosz? Is Poland ready to compete with Germany?
I'm very positive.
Yeah.
I would agree 100% because Poland is considered to be a crossroads now in Europe, and it has a lot of potential, whether it is intermodal, whether it is conventional transport, freight transport. So I think yes.
Okay, now I'm very curious to see what the audience has thought of that. 90% agrees, so that's more than a majority. It is the majority, but an overwhelming majority thinks that Poland is gonna take over this logistics industry.
Yeah, for sure. And it's also a little bit about perspective, you know, because we see as Poland, we're always talking about Eastern Europe, you know. Eastern Europe is really developing quite nicely, but they're saying, oh, wait a second, we're Poland, we're Central Europe.
Yes.
And I think if you see also the economic development coming along there quite nicely, people are really picking up, then you see they're more the heart of Europe and the heart of logistics.
Yeah, now talking about the heart of logistics, there was somebody who told me that Łódź is in the center of Poland. And that was the mayor, the deputy mayor of Łódź. Of course, he was very happy to talk about his city, and we asked him, why is Łódź a logistics hub?
You know, when all the communication routes, highways, motorways, railways cross, it doesn't matter if you have a brilliant mayor or a not brilliant mayor. You don't even have to touch it. Just natural processes, structural processes, boom this business. And Poland, because of many reasons, but mostly the geographical location, is just one of the natural hubs. Netherlands, similarly, as far as I'm concerned, a commune called Venlo is one of the most logistics-intensive areas in Europe. And this is also because of a very particular location. If we are located in the middle of a continent, and in the middle of the country, which is in the middle of a continent, logistics, no matter what you do, it becomes a significant element of the local economy.
Yeah, but in terms of infrastructure, are there any plans for infrastructural improvements or investments?
You know, Poland owes a lot to the European Union. After the very hard times of economic transformation in the end of 80s and beginning of 90s, the structural funds and financial support of the European Union allowed us to completely renew our infrastructure in all segments. So the infrastructure is definitely an asset these days. However, there is still a lot to do, especially in the field of intermodal or multimodal transportation. So integrating rail infrastructure, road infrastructure, and also cargo air movement. So this is definitely a field where we have some field for improvement.
Yeah. Do you have some certain figures in mind that you would like to achieve by 2000 something?
Yes, ma'am. Right now we are in the middle of preparing 3 spectacular industrial areas, industrial zones. They are mostly realized by, at this moment, they are blocked by industrial developers, mostly Panatoni, Hillwood, and Prologis. And in my dream scenario, by 2028, so 7 years from now, we would like to have all those industrial zones filled, both with infrastructure, both with factories, logistics centers, and with people. And, you know, in terms of numbers, we would definitely like our population to grow. I would definitely like to more exploit the direct cargo rail connection with China.
Yeah.
It works and it goes 2 or 3 times a week. However, I'm fully convinced it does not fully exploit its economic potential, and I would like to definitely integrate it with our with the cargo infrastructure of our airport.
Okay, and how could that be integrated?
By connecting the railway with the airport. Right now, it's not connected. If the cargo terminal in Łódź Airport would be connected to railway, in my opinion, it would be a huge strategic advantage.
Can you explain what that would look like? Is, for example, flights from China coming in by air and then being moved forward by train?
For example, or the other way around, or trains from China and went to air. When you look at central Poland, this is a place where all the logistics players and all companies that are big in those segments, FedEx, Amazon, UPS, DHL, and also the e-commerce global superpowers like Zalando, Amazon, Alibaba, and many others. They have their either central or major warehouse logistics centers. And in my opinion, if we could combine the potential which lays in the railway connection with China and combine with the potential of air cargo, I mean physically combined, because right now just the railway line does not go into the railway terminal. If it would go, in my opinion, it could be a very unique selling point of Central Poland and the city of Łódź.
Yeah, wouldn't it compete with each other?
In my opinion, not, because all those logistics tools or communicational solutions, however you call it, they are complementary, not competitive. Rail connection is faster than sea freight, however, slower than air freight, however, it's cheaper. And they both service slightly different types of goods. So in my opinion, it would be a synergy, not a competition.
Yeah. We're going to see some examples of connections to China by our next speakers. How would you see Łódź in 5 years from now?
I would see it as economically prospering, significant size European city. Right now, we are in a pretty intensive moment of economic development. I would definitely like to see a way broader middle class. I would definitely like to see this population wealthier, because in the field of economic development, in reaching economic convergence and making the society wealthier through economic competition, attracting foreign direct investment, I think this is the only tool to heal other structural problems, not only of Łódź, but also any other city in the world. People migrate because of job opportunities. People migrate following capital. And with capital come many other opportunities. When you look at other segments of the life of the city, art, consumption, almost any element, this is very closely combined with the level of economic development and the purchasing power of our population. I plan to reach it and to grow it by attracting as much quality type capital and as much quality jobs as possible. And in my opinion, because of our location and our history and our assets, logistics and industrial segment, which are very closely connected with the rail freight potential, are the tools to do so.
Yes, thank you very much. That was Adam Pustelnik. I spoke to him last week, and he will be attending the conference too. Now let's talk about Summit a little bit, Adrian.
Yeah, sure.
Because how did it all start, this RailFreight Summit in Poland?
Well, of course, we're in the RailFreight is European, and it's a lot about the Silk Road. And the Silk Road is a very crucial point at which it comes into Europe is via Poland for the most part. And that's why Polish logistics really came up in a lot of discussion. So that's why we said, okay, RailFreight is all about the Silk Road and rail transport in Europe. Let's go to Poland with the RailFreight Summit. And it was a tremendous success. The first time, we've got a little map that shows us. We went to Wrocław. And well, we made a little bit of a tradition to switch logistical cities in Poland each year. Because first we went to Wrocław, which is of course a really logistical hotspot, especially in road transport and rail also. And then afterwards we went to nice place. It's a lovely city, by the way. So if you're ever in the neighborhood, please drop by. But then we said, okay, we want to go to the port because everybody's talking about the port in Poland, which is developing so rapidly. And it's really unbelievable because if you look here in Rotterdam, how the ports are developing and the terminals, of course, it's fast. But there, it's like doubling, you know, in a couple of years' time. It's really incredible. And it got such a tremendous hinterland connection because you can drive from the port like 600 kilometers before you reach the first traffic light. So that's really impressive. So then we went to Gdansk to see that, and we had a great time over there. Very good conference. And then, of course, Corona hit, but we really wanted to go to Poznan because that was a big development also there. And we were very happy that we could organize it precisely in between waves. Yeah. And we were expecting to make a real jump in the event in size, and we did. But for a large part online. We had a lot of online viewers.
Yeah, we don't have pictures of that either because we didn't have like that. We did have physical participants, but they were all spread out and
Exactly, because the conference is all about talking about logistics, you know, and logistics in Central Europe and especially rail, but also other modalities. How's that developing? But they said, okay, well, we're in Lodz. We are really working quite hard, and we were actually planning on going to either Łódź or Warsaw, and we now choose for Lodz, and we saw just now the Deputy Mayor, and they are so passionate about logistics and about the development and their ambitions that we are very proud to come here. We got a lot of support from local logistics service providers, which is really good because that helps us building the event. And like I said earlier, we're expecting well over 200 participants, and that's mainly because of all the support we are getting from locals.
And
so
who are these people that are attending the conference?
So these are different profiles, but there are shippers, logistics service providers, terminals, rail operators, of course, for a very large part, and also other stakeholders, so governments and logistical experts. Yeah, it's a real mixture of the supply chain.
Yeah, and I think we created a little bit of a community, so we have the same people that are always coming back to us, which is very nice. I think it's nice to see each other again every year, but I think we also have new participants each year.
For sure, we got a very large part of new participants, and because we got such a big base here in Northern and Western Europe, of course in the Netherlands we are a Dutch organization, so we got a lot of participants from there. But what we are seeing now is that we got a lot of people from Poland, from Austria, from Ukraine, Germany. So that's
and even China.
And even China, yes. Of course, which is an important part. But it's not all about Silk Road. Silk Road, of course, important, but not all about Silk Road. Yeah. And it's really a delight to see all these different specialties coming together and talking about logistics.
If you allow me, Majori, I would like just to comment on that because I see now the attendees in our webinar. We have attendees from London, from Mendenburg, from Shanghai, Guam, Taiwan, Bulgaria. So I really think that we are building an international community which is very interested in Poland.
That's very nice to see. And these people are almost asleep because it's like 10 o'clock over there?
Yes, but I guess that Poland is really a big topic right now. Yes, keeping them awake.
So that's what I like. So it's all about content, but it's also all about meeting each other, and there are a lot of opportunities. And also in the content program, well, you are the architect of that, but there's also a lot of opportunity to really get in contact with each other and discuss relevant topics. Of course, during the network dinner, but also during the program or the tours, which I'm sure you're going to talk about. But
we're going to talk about the program and the tours a little bit later on, because first I'm very curious to hear more about this road trip you made, Nikos.
Yes.
Now, who did you meet there?
I met with Anna Midera, which is the CEO of Łódź Airport, and with Marcin Czachorowski, who is from Contargo. We visited their locations and we had a really nice time. We saw everything there, and I think that the attendees of the summit will also have the opportunity to visit these locations and see how everything is developing there. Yeah.
So we have a road trip movie now. This is something quite unique. I would suggest that we don't keep the audience any longer and we have a look.
Let's see.
We're just right outside the airport and we are going to onboard the plane that is going to take us to Poland. There, we're going to travel to Lodz, where RailFreight Summit 2021 is going to take place. Come with us in RailFreight's road trip to Poland. So we just arrived at Lodz Airport and we're about to take a tour at the airport's facilities and meet with the CEO, Anna Midera. Would you like to join us? Come take a look.
The idea concerning the plans to become the logistic hub for Central Europe appeared a year ago in September 2020 during the pandemic time. So last year, when the new strategy for Łódź was published, the strategy called Łódź for Tomorrow. And it was announced and publicly presented by Ms. Hanna Zdanowska, the mayor of the city. The crucial element of involving Lodz Airport in this project is the shareholder structure. Because the city of Łódź is the main shareholder. 96% of shares belongs to the municipality. The rest becomes to the region and a small aviation association. So, as you can see, it's not only about the airport itself, but it's more about Łódź as a central logistic hub.
What exactly will this expansion mean for RailFreight specifically?
I mean, the airport continue to be the air transport provider. So we will not change the profile of our activity. As the road infrastructure will improve and the rail will improve, also the connectivity of the airport will be better. That will help our business to develop faster, both in terms of number of passengers and quantity of cargo freight.
And now we're behind the wheel and we're ready to drive towards Contargo, the location that they have here in Lodz, and discuss about their investment both in Poland and the city of Lodz.
Such a short time being alive, almost such a inconvenience, makes it so hard to make sense. Are we missing out? Are we missing out? And I know it's just a matter of time before we tumble across the borderline. We can't go forward and we can't rewind. Are we missing out?
So Contargo started in Poland in 2019. We started with our partner company Hatrans. We are presently on the premises of Hatrans, which is the high storage warehouse. So in 2019 we decided to make a joint venture with the company, and in 2020 we finalized the joint venture. So basically around 2 years we are here. Łódź is the first place and the central place in Poland. It's located in the heart of Poland. So basically from Łódź the distances between different locations in Poland are practically the same. So it's a good central point for distribution, for container movement. In Łódź, we plan to build a modern terminal, 6.4 hectares land, equipped with one and in the end 2 gantry cranes and 3 reach stackers. On the terminal, we also plan to have such a warehouse like we are here, about 3 up to 4,000 square meters.
In terms of Eurasian services, what do you offer from here?
At the moment, we offer basically stuffing and stripping of the containers coming to different terminals in Poland. But when we have our terminal ready, then we can do complex logistics service with our own assets. I mean, handling, stripping, stuffing, and of course, our additional value will be connection to the network of Contargo 24 terminals in the Western Europe. We are pretty sure this is a good location, and having in mind the congestion on the border, it's much better to distribute the containers from here to different locations in Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, than from the border point, let's say dry port in Malaszewice, which is over congested and the distance for trucking is much higher. So, and we are also on the crossroad between east-west and north-south corridors. So this is a cross point, and we believe this will help the logistics service to develop.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road.
And we are at Piotrkowska Street in the center of Łódź. It's like the most historic avenue in the center of the city. You can find many picturesque buildings and nice cafes here where you can enjoy your beer or dinner.
Now we get one chance, you will never regret the things that we'll do. 'Cause
For our last visit in Łódź, Poland, we are at the location where the RailFreight Summit 2021 is going to take place. The building that you see behind me is going to be the place where all the magic, networking and meeting of the industry and professional is going to happen. Come and take a look with us. And this is where our journey to Poland comes to an end. These are the sites and visits that you're gonna see if you make it to Poland on the 1st and 2nd of September to attend the RailFreight Summit 2021. Make sure you book a place in advance, and we'll see you around here.
Well, for sure you got me excited. I'm really looking forward to go there now I saw the video. About the airport, because it's maybe a bit strange that there's an airport in the program about the RailFreight Summit.
Yes, it's not just about the airport. They have big plans. They want to expand in a logistic hub, and they want to also have rail connections, direct rail connections. So they have a huge, vast infrastructure that has a lot of potential and a lot of plans ongoing right now. So in the near future, we're going to see a rail connection with the airport that will help in the distribution of cargo.
Yeah, okay. Ari, you wanted to say something about the seating?
No, sorry, yeah. I thought this was quite interesting what you're saying, because a lot, of course, the logistical hotspots, which are really developing rapidly, are not synchronous. There are always different modalities coming together. And I think a lot of supply chains, especially in Corona times, they depend on air freight for a large part. So, yeah, we really encourage the development of these plans, and it's really nice to see that, speed up so much. Yeah. But also for the seating, because I see quite some activity in the chat, and I like that, and I'm looking forward to meeting you all in person in Łódź. But we have to be honest, there is a limit to the number of participants. So we can we can host 250 physical participants in the venue because, of course, social distancing, which we need to take very seriously, of course, in these times. I think safety is very important for all that will participate, that we can guarantee you come, you get a safe event, and then you go home. So 250 is the max. So if you're still thinking about it, making your plans, don't wait too long, register, and you can always rebook it to online in a later stage. So that's what I want to say about that.
All right, well, that's very useful information. You already mentioned it. We are a Dutch company. We're currently located in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
There's this special relationship we have with Poland, isn't it?
Yeah, well, of course, well, the Dutch are entrepreneurs by heart for a large part. And Polish logistics is developing so rapidly with a lot of Dutch backing and a lot of Dutch knowledge, I think, because we went there in a very early stage, and we combined the forces. I think the Dutch investments, but also the Polish work ethic and the really logistical hands-on mentality, which really combined quite nicely, and that's why it's developing so fast now.
Yeah.
So, and I think also because, of course, Germany is the logistical land and the manufacturer of Europe by far. I think it's important that we really don't look at the borders too much and combine and really talk to each other on how we can smooth supply chains. So how can we take away barriers, borders, and so forth, bottlenecks, and really make it all smooth, and that will help us all in the end.
Yeah. Now, one way that relationship unfolds between the Netherlands and Poland is that we have a good relationship with the Embassy of the Netherlands in Poland. And a few weeks back, I talked to Sanne Kaasjager, who is the economic counselor of the Embassy, and he explained why this event is so important for Dutch businesses in Poland. Yeah, because I'm taking Poland as an example, because on the line we also have somebody who's in Poland right now. That's Sanne Kaasjager. Sanne, you are from the Economic Council of the Embassy of the Netherlands in Poland.
Yes, that's right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. And you're situated in Warsaw, so you're going to miss all those fresh oranges from Spain for the time being.
That's terrible. But there is enough other sources to get my fruit from.
Yeah. This must be good news for you to hear that there is a company in the Netherlands looking for transport to Poland.
Yes, of course. I mean, we're happy with any trade or any economic activity, but especially rail. We try in this European Year of Rail, we really try to give some extra attention to rail freight. And that's also because of our RailFreight Summit in September, of course, that we will organize together with you.
Yep.
So hopefully that will also generate more business even.
Yeah. What can you tell us about the rail freight market in Poland at the moment?
Well, let me first start by just saying that Poland. When I arrived here, it was sort of this Eastern Bloc, ex-communist, grey economy, which is definitely no longer the case. You know, if you look at the economic and growth profile of Poland, it's extremely strong. It's the 6th largest economy by now, and you can guess who's number 5.
What do you think, Mark and Vet?
I think it's the Netherlands, probably.
Is
right,
it?
Right. Yeah,
guess.
yeah. And number 7 is Belgium.
Okay.
So we are squeezing Poland in a positive sense. And the rail freight volume is around 250 million tons annually. So I've read. I'm not sure if that's the correct number, but approximately. And the growth perspective is enormous. You have, like the Netherlands, by the way, Poland is expected to recover very fast, like over 4% growth in the coming years. The number of rail carriers is growing very fast. You've written a nice article on your website about that, and also intermodal transport, the subject of your discussion just now, is also growing very fast. So.
Yeah.
And if you look at the profile of the economy itself, some people call it, some analysts call Poland little China, because of the industry. It's a very strong industry, and that's even more, let's say, driven by this phenomenon called nearshoring. You hear a lot about it these days. It's driven by the pandemic, of course, where we noticed that supply lines to Asia, get interrupted, etc. So you see business and governments want to move their industrial production capacity to Europe to keep the strategic and essential goods close to home. So that's one. Secondly, is Poland as, let's say, characterized as a warehouse of Europe. It's enormous. When you drive around here in Poland, also by train, you see them popping up. I know that in the Netherlands they call it the verdozing van Nederland. Well, it's definitely also boxing in Poland. Actually, it's in the top 5 of the Prologis ranking right now, which is the first non-Western European country to do so. And finally, I would say infrastructure. Well, of course, you have the North Sea Baltic corridor, very known to the gentlemen around your table, but also let's say the Amber Road, so the Baltic Adriatic corridor. And recently, the huge investments of China, but also of Poland in the new Silk Road, the Northern Silk Road, and the strengthening of the terrestrial Brest border crossing is also plan of this government. So, well, this is a whole sort of picture, but there are some very interesting business opportunities as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe I keep ranting on because there's so much opportunities here that I would like to share that with you as much as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're going to share, we are going to share all those business opportunities in Poznan, or in Łódź, I'm sorry, in Łódź in September. On the 1st and the 2nd of September, we have the RailFreight Summit in Łódź. And there we will also talk to some Dutch companies who have settled in Poland, but of course a lot of Polish companies as well. We will hear something about infrastructure investments there as well. Can you give us a sneak preview of what's going on?
Absolutely. We have outsourced or commissioned a market survey report done by a Polish professor here at the University of Warsaw. And she has taken months to see where, for us, let's say, the Dutch are the most attractive business opportunities, market developments, etc. Infra development, the central transportation hub is this huge hub that is being built in the center of close to Łódź, actually. But also there's an amount of 23.5 billion euro. I'm going to repeat this: 23.5 billion euros to be invested in modernization of railroads, stations, rolling stock, etc., and also greening the whole railroad infrastructure. Finally, there will also be, because that's one of the difficulties with Poland, is that the high track access charges. We've talked about this in Poznan, where we had our previous RailFreight Summit. And part of the plan is let's say, the Polish plan to get funding from the EU is to lower those access charges. So that's good news for Dutch businesses. So this is just to give you an idea. We'll bring the ambassador to add a little weight to the summit, not literally, of course, but as a status. And we'll try to do some matchmaking as well for Dutch businesses. So that's a sneak preview of the opportunities and what we're going to do in Łódź in September, the 1st and the 2nd of September.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you are all looking forward to it, and I think we will see you there, and maybe other people.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you very much for giving us this preview.
No worries. With pleasure.
Yes, and I think it's a good moment to talk about this program a little bit, because he already mentioned it, Sanne. He talked a lot about the first part of the program, which is, I'm going to show you, the European Year of Real Investment Opportunities. And he talked of 12.5 billion euros that's going to be invested. And we have some speakers from the European Commission who are coming to tell about this. We have some speakers from the Polish government who are going to explain where all of this money is going. And some other high officials, such as the Deputy Mayor, which we have just seen. Now,
and is this the amount you mentioned, is that for all of Europe? Or,
no, for Poland.
For Poland,
yep.
Wow.
Yep.
So a
lot of money
there,
going to Poland. So we need to know where that money is going before we can just agree with it, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of opportunities for the development and speeding up.
Yeah. And then in the second session, we're going to talk about multimodal freight possibilities. Multimodal or intermodal traffic is always a big item for the summit.
Sure, yeah.
And that is both on the first day and then on the second day of the summit, 2nd of September. It's all about the New Silk Road because it's part of the conference. We cannot miss out on it. People want to know about it. People want to talk about it.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So what we have done, we have invited 3 speakers of the program, 2 of the second session and 1 of the third. And I'm going to announce them, but I can already promise I cannot pronounce the names correctly because they are very difficult for me to pronounce. So Wojciech is here, his last name Greszok, I think, from Transcontainer. Wojciech, are you with us? You're not? Okay, we'll continue. We'll see if he comes up later. Michał Jamioła from Langowski Logistics.
Yes, hello, nice to meet you. And Michał Jamioła, if you would like to pronounce in Polish.
Jamioła, Michał Jamioła.
Exactly.
Jamioła. Okay, and then we have Miłosz Witkowski.
Yes. I think it's pretty good for pronunciation. It's Miłosz Witkowski.
For the first time, Witkowski. Yeah, I'm really trying my best. And actually, the funny thing is that Wojciech, who is not able to hear us, or we're not able to hear him, but we tried pronouncing his name during another event we had on a sort of an award show of the most difficult names to pronounce in the logistics industry, and he was one of them.
And how did you turn out?
I failed the test. You managed.
I managed, but I don't think that I can manage now.
Now you're Greek, you've got a difficult name yourself, so it's more easy. Yeah?
Yes, we're just hoping that he shows up so he can explain how we should pronounce the name correctly. So hopefully he will be there with us in a bit. But Michał, let me start with you, because you are a funny exception to all of us. You just signed up as a partner of the RailFreight Summit an hour ago, which is amazing, and you're here in the show.
Yeah, I think it's not a problem for me, yes, because today morning I just saw that there is a meeting like this. So if you ask us to join and to talk about the Lodz, yes, in general, yes. So I decided to come and join this meeting, yes, because our company is mostly involved in Lodz business, rail business in general. So maybe I will talk. We can talk about this business here together.
Yeah, it's great that you could join us on such short notice. Can you tell us a little bit about Langowski Logistics? What do you do?
In Langowski Logistics, I am a business development manager, and I'm responsible mostly for rail business. Of course, rail business means rail business from China to China, but of course, not only. It's a core business hour, but of course there is a other direction which I'm responsible for. So I'm focused on rail business in general, also not only rail, but rail also with warehouse, with tracking, with custom clearance, everything which is connected with this rail services.
Yeah, and I've looked up your panel discussion. You're going to take part in the Intermodal Poland panel discussion together with Lukas Polacek from DB Cargo and Wojciech from Transcontainer. You're not in there yet because you just signed with us, but we are going to put you in there, of course. Now,
Okay.
we mentioned this 12.5 billion euros, and I would like to ask you, how do you think it should be spent?
Sorry, once again.
This 12.5 billion euros that the European Commission is awarding to Poland and to infrastructure in Poland, what are the most important areas or topics that should be spent on?
I'm not quite sure if it is a good question to me. I think it's a good question to, for example, owner of rail terminals in Poland, like for example PKP, like for example Spedcom. Or this question is also good for Polish government, who is responsible for repair of trucks, yes, and to keep rail infrastructure, yes, in a good condition, yes. I think this money should be spent in first choice on intermodal infrastructure, like rail terminals. So it's very, very important. Yes, it should be. I think maybe maybe more rail terminals in whole Poland area who can serve and rails from China to China, but also create a new connection from Poland to other nations in Europe. Yes, that's the case, which should be spend the money from Europe, I think. Yes, and as I mentioned before, yes, the second case is a rail infrastructure. Yes, we know how big problem it is. Yes, and as I heard it before. Yes, now as we know, everyone, there is a intermodal traffic everywhere at the border, at the inland part of the Poland. Yes, and everything is caused by the closure of tracks. Yes, so as long as we have some kind of problem, as like for example closure of tracks and other section, yes, till this moment the rail services will be delayed and will not be as competitive as, for example, other as trucks or ocean, maybe even yes. So I think one of the most important things it is infrastructure, yeah, rail infrastructure, and so I think these 2 points it should be at the beginning when we are talking about this spend some general money. Yes.
Yeah. Now we will have the infrastructure manager in the program as well in the event. What would you like to know from them?
What would like to know? As I've heard 2 days ago, probably we got a news that another part of tracks will be closed in the section of the Malaszewicze-Brest. Yes, so probably it will cause another big delays and big traffic. Yes, so. What is how can we solve this to not spread the problems with the delays?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering, Michał, we are hearing a lot of issues with availability of empty containers, and I was wondering how the situation is with you or in Poland specific. Could you say something about that?
Sorry, once again.
Could you say something about empty containers and the availability of them? Because I see, of course, your business is highly depending on it, of course, as an intermodal operator. Do you have enough availability of empty containers?
It depends. The problem with the empty containers, of course, everyone knows that's a big problem at this moment, especially in China. Yes. So, as you can see, we should ask rather to China. China, for example, I don't know, maybe. Railways or other, yes, how can they solve this problem with the empty containers? But as I know, at this moment now there are more empty containers at the market, so now this problem is not as bad as some time ago. Yes, so as I know, especially in China, we have containers, and in of course Europe, other direction there are also enough equipment.
A better person maybe to ask is Miłosz. Miłosz, because you are working on the new Silk Road, you're very active in traffic with China, to China, from China. What do you do exactly as IFB?
We are an international forwarding company. Here in Poland from 11 years, and our mother company is over 41 years old, so it's quite old company. I'm focused, as you said, on the new Silk Road and the developments on this topic.
Was that Miłosz disappearing?
It looked like it.
I disappeared? No,
I see. We're hearing it again. Yes,
you're
excellent.
still there. Good.
Yeah, I see. Did you hear me? Or
Yeah, we heard you.
Okay.
All right.
So basically,
and what about the empty containers? Because Ari just wondered, do you have?
What about empty containers?
Yeah, is that something you're facing at the moment?
Okay, the situation with empty containers is basically concerning the money, because if you now there's a situation like that, if you can prepaid for the empty containers. So you just paid in front for the empty containers. In China, you get the empty containers. But if you want to delay the payment, that when the containers are in Poland or in Europe, and there is some kind of payment terms, not many Chinese operators and leasing companies want to do it because they want to get the money in front and faster. So this is the problem. Of course, there is a shortage of containers, but as I told you, there is a way to get the containers earlier, but you have to pay money earlier, right? So it's not the best solution, but that is some kind of solution.
Yeah.
And money solves all your problems,
Yes.
eh? Once again.
Now, I looked up this panel discussion that you're in. It's Poland's narrative on the New Silk Road. So we have a lot of discussion about the New Silk Road, but this year we will also hear about the Polish perspective. So what's happening?
And what's this narrative then?
Yeah, this is, well, we don't know yet. We have to decide, but it's going to be about the story that happens in Poland. And of course, the speakers are going to contribute to this discussion. What do they find important? So maybe, Miłosz, you can give us a little bit of a suggestion. Which topics do you think we should definitely discuss in this panel discussion?
Okay, I think the important thing is one of that Michał already said. It's the Małaszewicze problem. This is the, I think, ongoing problem with no solutions as so far, because there is a delay and a delay and delay and delay. Of course, there are some periods of time that the Małaszewicze and Brest are working very good, but generally. This is a congestion point, right? This is a bottleneck for everybody, and it don't concern only Poland, because Europe also, because 90% of trains are going from Małaszewicze, right? For now, so this is the topic that we should talk and I think lobby to get improvements in this area. Of course, we should talk also about creating new hubs in Poland, like in Łódź. It's a good place to be a hub, logistic hub, connecting rail, and not only rail, but air transport also. Of course, the infrastructure that should be upgraded. I think this is the main 3 points that should be on the topic, on the table.
All right, and how do you feel about all these alternative routes around Poland, all jumping in because the congestion is too much at Małaszewicze?
Yes, I think this is a very good development, because in one way it a little bit helps Małaszewicze to unlock the congestion, and other way it's good to see the competition in this New Silk Road between the terminals between the countries. I think this is also a good point for our government to see that not only Poland is a good transit country, but also other countries are competing. So maybe this will be a sign for them to put more pressure for our country to spend more money on the infrastructure and all the problems that are now.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a lot to talk about. We are going to prepare this panel discussion very well, and I'll be in touch with you and the other panel members, of course. Thank you very much for participating at this webinar to give a sneak preview.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
And thank you very much, Michał, for the last-minute jump in.
Okay, thanks.
We'll see you soon in Łódź.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And
Well,
now
I think we got a lot to talk about.
we have certainly a lot to talk about. And we're not done yet. No, that's okay. We are here to talk. But I would like to ask the audience a question too, because what I actually want to know is whether they've decided to participate or not. So
For sure, they will come. I'm sure of it.
let's have a bet on it.
Yeah.
No, we have another poll question. which people can respond to, and it's very simple. You either going or you're not going. I think there's
Or
also
watching online, eh?
Online, okay.
That's also a
there's no
possibility.
maybe. You must decide on the table. Look, Nikos, what are you looking most forward to?
Judging from the energy that I already see through this webinar and all the people being actually willing to participate, I don't want to destroy any poll results here. I'm really looking forward to meet the community, meet all the professionals, and actually discuss in person about problems, potentials, and everything around rail freight in Poland. I think that everybody needs it, and from what I've heard in Poland as well with people that I met, everybody's looking forward to a physical event after such a long time.
Yeah, it's kind of like our first outing almost.
Yes.
And you?
Road trip.
Road trip,
Yeah,
yes.
for sure. Now, well, I'm looking forward to getting some also some good answers on, of course, how Polish logistics is developing in Corona time, how are you developing in the pandemic, but also, which we spoke about briefly now, is of course the shortage of containers, the rates which are going through the roof. What kind of opportunity offers that for other logistical companies? I'm very interested in hearing of all creative solutions.
Yeah. Now we also have sponsors, as you already mentioned.
Yeah,
I would
sure,
just shortly like to point them out because we have gathered them in a sheet.
Nice, yeah. Well, we see them primarily as partners because these partners are really helping us realizing this event and backing us and getting the program together. Of course, a lot of knowledge in the logistical area if you look at all these big names. And yeah, well, they'll be there for sure. Some will also be on stage like we spoke now. And yeah, we want to thank them up front for being with us.
Yeah, we can't do it without them.
For sure not, no.
Yes. Now, I'm very curious. Wait, before we look at the results, what do you think?
I think everybody will come.
100%. And you?
I think so too, yes.
100%? Okay, well, we are a little bit off the 100, but we have 58% saying that they're coming, and we have 37% saying that they're going to attend online. And there's nobody not coming, so that's very good news.
Excellent,
Yes.
yeah. So
In
that will
practice,
be
everybody's coming.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah, so that's
We
why
have
I think it's
100%,
very
yeah.
important that the people that will be there online, they will be really in the event. And we did that before, really like we have the interaction now in the chat. We're going to use the chat then also so you can really participate full scale and put them on the screen, perhaps call some people and have some live connections and really make it a nice hybrid event.
Yeah, because we're going to have our assignments as well during the event, and we're going to make sure that people can participate in those assignments as well.
Really? Looking forward.
What's also very important to point out is that we have a site visit, and people might think, how can we participate in a site visit while being online? But I think we found a solution for that.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that sounds very creative.
I thought you were going to tell us the
Oh,
solution.
no, yeah. Nikos, tell us.
I think that the video that we just saw from Woods is a nice example of how we can do it.
Exactly.
Like with a live connection, guide you through the location so everybody can see what is going on there and feel like they are actually participating in real life.
Yeah,
Exactly, and what I really like about the side trips always is that it's a really, for a large part, also about meeting each other and getting to know each other in a different situation, talking about logistics, asking questions. And I think we're working on that also for the people who will be with us online.
So there is going to be an opportunity for online networking, right?
For sure, yeah, we're going to work on that very hard to make that work. And yeah, we invite everybody to attend. So register now. And if you are a little bit hesitant, if you don't know if you can come there, or you're thinking perhaps our safety issue, still register, reserve your seat, and we are very flexible, especially in these times. We want to work with you, and we'll make it work for everybody and everybody's protocol.
Yes, all right. And then it's a wrap of this webinar, I think.
So soon already.
Yes, it's only an hour.
Yes.
But we're going to be back, not with the webinar, but the regular RailFreight Live, not next week, because we have a little bit of a summer lower frequency break. Because we're all going on holidays, of course. The next show is going to be on 30th of July with Nikos Papatolios.
Right here.
Right there. And then we're going to see you, hopefully, at the RailFreight Summit. So this show will be on YouTube very soon. You can follow us on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Now, have a nice weekend. Goodbye.
Bye.